The long-standing conflict between Israel and Gaza has for decades been a theater of pain, mistrust, and bloodshed. Yet, even amidst the ruins of war, hope sometimes flickers. On February 14, 2025, news emerged of a prisoner exchange agreement, a rare ray of light in this troubled region. The deal, brokered after months of tense negotiations, promises the release of 3 Israeli captives held by Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad in Gaza. In return, Israel is set to free a significant number of Palestinian prisoners, marking a potential turning point in the ongoing conflict. This exchange, slated for February 15, 2025, is not merely a logistical transaction. It carries profound symbolic weight. For Israelis and Palestinians, the captive issue cuts deep, touching upon raw emotions and national identity. The sight of their countrymen returning home after years of uncertainty and anguish is sure to evoke powerful emotions on both sides. However, the agreement also serves as a stark reminder of the human cost of this protracted conflict. Each name on the prisoner list represents a life irrevocably altered, a family torn apart by the cycle of violence. The exchange is part of a broader ceasefire agreement reached on January 19, 2025. This fragile truce, painstakingly negotiated after a grueling 15-month Israeli offensive in Gaza, brought a much-needed respite from violence. The ceasefire, however, has been under immense strain. Hamas has accused Israel of multiple violations, particularly the obstruction of vital aid deliveries to the beleaguered Gaza Strip. The specter of renewed conflict looms large, a stark reminder of the volatile situation in the region. The international community, acutely aware of the fragile peace, has played an active role in mediating between the two sides. Egypt and Qatar, in particular, have been instrumental in maintaining communication channels and preventing a complete breakdown of the ceasefire. Their efforts underscore the high stakes involved and the urgent need for a lasting solution. The prisoner exchange, while a positive step, represents just one piece of a far more complex puzzle. The 3 Israelis whose impending release has brought a flicker of hope to a war-torn region are Alexander Trufanov, Sagui Dekel-Chen, and Yair Horn. Each man carries with him a story of resilience and the heavy burden of captivity. Their return, a testament to the enduring human spirit, signifies not just a personal victory, but also a glimmer of possibility for a future free from the shackles of conflict. Alexander Trufanov, a Russian-Israeli citizen, crossed into Gaza in 2019, seeking economic opportunity and a fresh start. His journey, however, took a tragic turn when he was apprehended by Hamas authorities and accused of espionage. Separated from his family and loved ones, Trufanov has endured years of uncertainty, his fate hanging in the balance of geopolitical negotiations. Sagui Dekel-Chen, an Israeli soldier, was captured during a fierce border clash with Hamas militants in 2021. The image of his capture, broadcast by Hamas, sent shockwaves through Israeli society, serving as a stark reminder of the human cost of the conflict. His family, thrust into the agonizing limbo of uncertainty, has tirelessly campaigned for his release, clinging to hope even in the darkest of times. Yair Horn, an Israeli businessman, ventured into Gaza in 2022 for a business meeting, unaware of the perilous path that lay ahead. Detained by PIJ operatives, he became an unwitting pawn in the complex web of politics and ideology that defines the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. His story, like those of Trufanov and Dekel-Chen, underscores the precariousness of life in a region riven by conflict. The prisoner exchange agreement is inextricably linked to the ceasefire agreement of January 19, 2025. This truce, marking a pause in the relentless cycle of violence that has plagued Gaza for over a year, offered a glimmer of hope for a more peaceful future. However, the path to peace is rarely straightforward, and the ceasefire has been marred by accusations and counter-accusations, pushing it to the brink of collapse. Hamas, the de facto ruling authority in Gaza, has accused Israel of repeatedly violating the terms of the ceasefire. Their primary grievance centers around the issue of humanitarian aid. Despite pledges to ease the blockade on Gaza, Hamas alleges that Israel has actively obstructed the flow of essential goods and materials into the impoverished territory. These accusations, if true, paint a bleak picture of the situation on the ground and highlight the challenges in building trust between the two sides. Adding fuel to the fire, U.S. President Donald Trump issued a stark ultimatum to Hamas, demanding the release of all Israeli captives by February 15, 2025, at 12 p.m. Failure to comply, he warned, would result in dire consequences, potentially including the cancellation of the ceasefire agreement. Trump's intervention, while intended to secure the release of the hostages, has further inflamed tensions, adding another layer of complexity to an already volatile situation. Amidst these swirling accusations and ultimatums, Egypt and Qatar have emerged as crucial mediators, working tirelessly behind the scenes to salvage the fragile peace. Their diplomatic efforts, focused on de-escalating tensions and fostering dialogue, have been instrumental in preventing a complete breakdown of the ceasefire. The role of these regional actors highlights the importance of international cooperation in navigating the complexities of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The prisoner exchange agreement and the fragile ceasefire have reverberated throughout the Middle East, eliciting a range of reactions from regional players. Turkey, a vocal critic of Israel's policies, condemned what it perceived as Israeli aggression and called for a more balanced approach to the conflict. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, a staunch supporter of the Palestinian cause, expressed solidarity with the people of Gaza and called for an end to the blockade. Saudi Arabia, a key U.S. ally in the region, found itself in a delicate position. While maintaining its traditional support for the Palestinian people, Riyadh has also forged closer ties with Israel in recent years, driven by shared security concerns and a common adversary in Iran. The Saudi government, while welcoming the prisoner exchange as a positive step, refrained from publicly criticizing Israel, reflecting the complex web of alliances and rivalries that shape Middle Eastern politics. The Hostage Families Forum, an Israeli organization representing families of Israelis held captive or missing in Gaza, welcomed the news of the impending release with a mix of relief and cautious optimism. While overjoyed at the prospect of their loved ones returning home, the forum emphasized the need for a more comprehensive agreement that would secure the release of all Israeli captives, both living and deceased. The prisoner exchange agreement, while a significant development, represents just one small step on a long and arduous journey towards a lasting peace. The ceasefire, fragile and fraught with challenges, hangs by a thread vulnerable to the shifting sands of mistrust and the ever-present threat of renewed violence. The road ahead is paved with uncertainty, but the glimmer of hope offered by the prisoner exchange serves as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit's capacity for reconciliation and peace endures.